we're here today. We've got news.
Yes, we have indeed.
And we've been talking on and off and messaging, David, and there's isn't it amazing right now in our experiences in the world? Everything is so mutable. It's so fast moving, like the air element. It's just like whew, it's almost you could almost take off with it with the energy, and you have to kind of ground a lot just to sort of anchor so you don't get whisked away on the wind of it, you know? It's
Yeah.
how to stay still and grounded with all these very high vibe energies uplifting us, expanding us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some news, but also about dowsing. You've got some concepts to share really about where dowsing can maybe be a springboard for other stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So one of the things that I recognized within myself and also teaching others to douse was that for me, I really concentrated on earth energies. And as I was dowsing more with earth energies, I became more open to other types of energies like the ghosts and people's energies and water energies. And yeah, just from my perception, I feel that the more we douse and we work with energies, the more we tune in. The more we tune in, the more we can open up and broaden our horizons.
And that opening up allows for a deepening, the awareness, and what we can see with our, let's say, inner vision, but also even things that seem like mystical experiences of stuff we can maybe start to get hints of with our seeing eyes, or even, you know, things appearing to us that might be interdimensional energies and non-material kind of, you know, energetic frequencies and presences. I mean, you've been having some interesting things, right?
Yes, yeah. I went and visited a crop circle. It just so happened that I was walking in the countryside and it happened the night before this crop circle was made, and it definitely looks man-made. Um, but there was something very, very interesting about the energy there. And I didn't have my dowsing rods with me, so I couldn't really look. And it was maybe a mile to the southeast of Avebury.
Okay.
So it wasn't too far away from Avebury. And yeah, I came away from there and went home. And a couple of hours later, I went to sleep, just needed a nap and just was completely out of my body, not in a scary way. Again, I wasn't breathing, but not in a scary way. And just lots of information was coming in. It was like having 1,000 different conversations. And I was probably there for, you know, it could have been 10 seconds. It could have been a couple of minutes. I don't know how long it was.
No
But all
time
I remember
space, right?
yeah, it was just like just really breathing in all of a sudden and just being aware that, oh, where have I been? So yeah, that was a very interesting experience.
It is. And do you think, because you were drawn to this field and something going on there, despite not having dowsing rods, you and I have talked about dowsing with the body or just sensing energies through the body as a dowsing instrument. Was there anything you picked up in the field that felt like either possibly like some sort of portal or activation or some, because even if somebody's making a man-made crop circle, there's intention there. Are they trying to weave those earth energies in a particular way, in order to bring something through, activate something.
Yeah, I didn't feel anything in particular. There was nothing that I could kind of pinpoint. But I think with crop circles, if somebody's drawn to do something, or a group of people are drawn to create something, then it's not necessarily that they are aliens, for want of a better word, but it might be that they're in touch with some information, or information is being gifted to them. I don't quite know how to describe it. An intuition, if you like, and being intuitively guided to create this thing, to create this crop circle. And just the precision and the geometry of it is just so amazing. So amazing.
That is so connected with a call I was on yesterday evening with the Earth Energies group. So for anyone who isn't aware, the Earth Energies group is a free, just email mailing list where we invite people who are sharing information about Earth Energies, whether they're exploring ancient sites in Ireland or working with Earth Energies in some way in their career, or have interesting stories to tell. It's a fascinating group with a monthly talk, and it's free. So we'll put a link to how to sort of join that mailing list if anyone's interested. Last night we had somebody called Mark Lieb, and the talk, oh my gosh, about sacred geometry, sound frequency in the landscape. Mark he's been an interior architect for many, many moons. And for 10 years, he's been studying with the French school of master builders, the master builders who do the creating of sacred space in harmony with the earth's geometry, alignments, and also the sound frequency of that specific place and location. And when you get the note right, let's say it's the F note, the heart chakra sound, it's not something you can hear with your actual physical ears, but it's being in harmony with the space that you're building on or in, whether it's a mandala or a labyrinth or an actual building. If you work with those sacred geometry principles and the natural connection with sound that those invoke when you align things in the way that they're meant to sit within the earth, it draws energy to it. The tree energy lines come towards whatever you're building, and you feel very replenished and very, very nourished by inhabiting that space or just spending time there. And that Mark was showing all the mandalas he's made. He can make a mandala at a festival. He's doing work around the world. And what happens, what gets activated in people, and how the wellspring of sort of almost like the fountain of youth kind of is evoked in them, because everything feels so right. Creativity can be non-stop running through you. And that mandala principle reminds me of how you've described the crop circle.
Yeah.
It's the same principle. You're guided to do something in harmony with nature, with the site that you're on. It's a really beautiful process, and the sound frequency just weaves it all together and integrates us as human beings on this plane with everything that's around us, above, below, within, without. It's just so stunning. So I'm loving that story that you've had this unexpected sort of branch off your planned path when you're walking in the downs. You end up in a field. Something's happened, crop circle connections, and then you kind of experience something mystical, going out of body whilst being connected, going into that place of no time.
Yeah.
It's endless majesty. It's indescribable, isn't it, with words?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I guess like there's an effortlessness to it as well. Just there wasn't any intention for it to happen. It just happened. And that's one of the things that I'm finding, is that these more mystical experiences are occurring, and there's no expectation for it to happen. It's just, here it is. But, oh, okay, here it is.
Yes. And I've noticed as well, you might have had the same or similar experiences, that you have a thought, oh, that would be a nice thing. And then lo and behold, within a day or two or 10, it just almost magically happens or appears. And it's not like you've done a, literal ritual about manifesting or anything like that. It's just a simple idea, a notion that occurs. And then lo and behold, it feels like that connection between a sort of, a natural intention that arises within us, and then it naturally materializing. It's so effortless now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It just feels, again, weaving those energies. So dowsing can help open the doorway to this life of pure potentiality.
Yeah.
As long as we are eyes wide open, we're intentional with it. We are humble in our approach and curious and heart-based. It's a magical time to be alive for creative and inspirational, intuitive and spiritual expansion.
Yeah, for sure.
Remembering who we are, who we're meant to be, who we can be, who we already are, and we're just unlocking it within ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And so where are you with dowsing as your sort of trajectory? Because you've been expanding more into sound healing, sound baths, and making music as part of your meditation practice, and sort of gifting people with that. What's happening there?
Yeah, see, I mean, dowsing and music has always been an interesting thing for me. So when I learnt dowsing, when I learnt to dowse, the first thing I was taught by my mum was about chakras and how to look at chakras. And probably about 6 months to a year after that, I learned to play the didgeridoo. And that made me question everything. There was something about, feeling the vibration of the didgeridoo just made me think, well, there's something about vibration. Like, what is it? Like, how can it kind of help? And so then I just naturally, after doing a bit of research, just naturally started doing chakra balancing with a slide didgeridoo and in a rose quartz pendulum. So yeah, it was kind of always something that went side by side. And while I'm still dowsing, I tend to do it, just to show people where energies are and to get people more in tune with energies, and also to help with the sound. So it was interesting that you were talking about the sound. So I've started using Orgonite crystals, which is like a man-made resin with copper and
spirals and the flakes of gold, is it? Or
it can be, it depends on the thing. It can be any kind of mineral. It can be gold, it could be silver, it could be copper, and they all have certain metaphysical properties. And then it's mixed up with kind of clear quartz for amplification, normally with a spiral around it, and then other kind of crystals. Quite often they could be tumbled stones or crushed crystals mixed in the resin. And this kind of gives a combination of energy. And the cool thing about crystals is they like pressure. If you put piezo creating crystals under pressure, then you get to regulate the piezo effect, the beat. That's why watches work, clocks with quartz in them, because quartz beats at 1 beat a second. So you can do the same with sound to activate crystals. So what I'm now doing is I'm using dowsing to find energy spots and kind of try and position my speakers in a particular place and then put crystals underneath them. This is when I'm doing my sound baths. So for that, it's really cool. And to be able to then activate that with the sound from the speakers and also the didgeridoo and the shamanic drum, it just brings something very powerful to the sound journey.
That's wonderful. So you're emerging, your expansion is very sound orientated and using that crystal energy, orgone energy to sort of amplify. It's really, really stunning. I wonder where it's going to take you. And you were talking about, sorry, I've just got a very excited sort of music shared with me. You're writing a book?
Yes, yeah. So I've had quite an unusual life, and I ended up doing a lot of long distance walking, mainly because I was quite lost in my life at that point. But it opened me up to the miracles of life. And sometimes when I was in positions that were quite difficult, all of a sudden something would happen and it would completely change the direction in which I was going in. And so this is what my book is about. It's about, understanding the miracles that are in life and trying to actually see the miracles that happen in the everyday as well. I think it's easy to just get caught up in the everyday and just not see things happening for you and just feel like life is kind of happening against you. But if you can switch how you look at things, then you can really see the miracles and how life is helping you and is guiding you. And that really feels like how music and this creative element that's happening in my life right now, it really feels like a part of that.
And it's expanding so much. And my experience has been similar with dowsing. I'm just having so much joy connecting with the land, the elemental beings, sacred work. It really is just the reverence that you feel and making connections within the dowsing community, whether it's people in Scotland, Canada, sort of, all around the world. There are so many beautiful souls out there expanding their own consciousness and sharing their soul song in the dowsing world. That's very much where I'm just feeling so right, for my soul song, singing its dream. And your soul song is very much this musical expansion, isn't it? With you've been integrating it with your meditation practice. You're creating every day. It's just it's like it feels like a really natural conversation that you're having with consciousness, and
I think for me, you kind of know when you've hit the nail on the head because it becomes more rapid. Like how things change, just it changes, and it's not like a stressful kind of change, but it just naturally evolves and it just picks up speed. And if I look at the last if I look at this year and I just think, well, what has happened this year? It's been amazing. I started off the first month of this year with my friend Alison from Ecstatic Dance Berkshire, and we did. I think Alison did 9 events, and I joined her for 7 of them. And I was playing didgeridoo and various percussion, and doing sound baths with all of these ecstatic dances, and it was incredible. And then we kind of said, well, actually, like, it works, but it's not quite right. So we kind of took a step back, and it's created something else, and we're working together differently. But then it's taken me off in a different direction on my own personal work. So, and it's just changing like so quickly, so beautiful.
Yeah, rapid expansion,
Mm.
right, for us all. And
Yeah,
whether we
definitely.
like it or not, sometimes it's like it's happening.
Yeah. It's just to find your niche, for a want of a better word, and then go with it and really work with it.
Mm. Yeah, where do you feel like things just flow or time? There's no sense of the passing of time, and
Yeah,
you feel contented and natural
yeah,
and at ease with whatever it is that you're engaged in, whether it's making music, whether it's writing, whether it's research, whether it's, experimenting,
mm,
creating, whatever it is. It just, if it feels right, connecting people, connecting dots, ideas, events, things.
yeah,
Yeah, whatever we're meant to be doing here, it's being of service by honoring our own inner sort of guidance of what
yeah,
what we're here to expand into. It's not about achieving anymore. It's not about productivity. It's about simplification and almost clarity of focus with that expansion sort of line of treats along the way that you like, oh,
mm,
there's the next treat. Thank you.
yeah, yeah,
Yes. So you're going onwards and outwards and upwards with your musical expansion, and we're
yes,
kind of honoring our connection. And, I'm so excited for you and sort of seeing what you go on to do. So this is going to be our final sort of connection as co-hosts, I guess, for
yeah.
the podcast, because you're a busy bee, David. You got some
I
music
am.
to make, book to write.
Exactly. Everything is done in small stages. I when I get up in the morning, I meditate, and then it's if I've got time, I write in my book, and then I create music. Like the meditation and the music are like the priority. And yeah, usually I've got enough time to squeeze in writing in my book, and then I go to work. And yeah, it's just things are changing very much,
Mm.
and yeah, I'm building a kind of platform to change my work. So yeah,
Let's see
it's it's
how
getting
that
there.
happens. Yeah, it's amazing. And it's fun because the way you and I connected through dowsing initially, and then thought, well, wouldn't this be an interesting thing to do to start this podcast? And it has been a really magical
Yeah,
sequence of events and conversations and meeting amazing people along the way. So maybe we'll have you back as a guest at some
yes, sounds great.
just yeah, maybe when your book is ready about joining up those dots and
Yeah.
something, if you have some new adventure you wish to share, and the dowsing community would love to hear your news. So
Thank you very much.
well, thank you, David. It's just been such a heart-based and light-filled pleasure collaborating with you along the way
Yeah.
with these, and it just feels really natural right now for what you're doing and expanding into that. And yeah, I don't know how the format for Discovering Dowsing will go going forward, but I've got a lovely long list of people I'm looking forward to inviting to join to have a chat and to share their lovely exploration and expansion. So yeah, watch this
Yeah.
space.
It sounds amazing, and I look forward to listening.
Yeah, thank you, David.
Thank you.